killed the dollar. We tried to break down out of this rectangle. Here's the rectangle I've been talking about. In fact, held it. I don't think we're going to hold it in reverse here. I think we'll follow through to the downside next week. The next important level before new lows is going to come in around here. Let's see where this comes in. It's going to be just above the lows. So it's now looking like the count for a 3 drive is looking more likely, which is going to mean that we're going to have one more low. Ellioticians will call this what I call a 3 drive formation. They'll call it an ending diagonal, which is a very powerful reversal formation, which is going to come in right around 94.80. So that's where I think we're going. If that's the case, I think you could be looking at 120 euro. There's one other place it could stop, and that's at about 118. And if you recall, if my RSI would come up here, that on the daily, there it is. This always bothered me for it being a top. So a confirmed high. I don't think at new highs, which is 1830 to clean out all the bears, we're going to take out 70. So I'm going to be watching this very carefully next week. I have an area at, say, 118. And then if we're going to go and make new lows in the Dixie, you're probably talking 119.80 in euro. Aussie could have another 100 in it. 66.80 was a target I've been talking about for a month. They did get to the end. It was this move that we had last week, early in the week at 49. Never got the third drive, and I didn't take a lot of big positions in front of the number. I knew it was going to be big either way, but who knew? Who knew? We almost didn't get the number. There was talk about them having difficulty doing it. So Canada, holding up pretty good for a weak dollar. So that was not the best trade selection for a dollar decline. The Aussie long was better than the Canadian short, and the yen short was the best dollar short that we had. Mexico's on its way to new lows. USD NOK looks like we're going to make new lows. So a weak dollar, but just keep in mind now that we're in the month of September. We also have an eclipse this weekend. So I think it may take more than one day for the dollar to bottom. So maybe the dollar's negative until the solar eclipse and the equinox, more towards 20th of the month. That's about 3 weeks from here. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to happen this month at one of those levels, either 118 or 120 in the euro. So I'm not in the dollar collapse camp. I'm in that this is a bottoming process, and it takes a long time to turn around a battleship, and that's a process that we're going through right now. Yields finally did get to and even take out my target on the 10-year, not by a lot. 410 was a measured move off the head and shoulders top, which was this formation here. So we'll see. Some people are talking 4% for a floor, and we're not that far away from that. We're at 407. So interest rates behaving very well. In fact, I was looking at TLT, and you know what? We're on the verge of a breakout. Check out this daily. All right, this is an 870 triangle from 83.5 to what's this? So call it 4.5. That could take us back to 92 or so on a breakout over this 88.5. Could take us back up to this level. So looks like we're challenging this breakout. I don't think you could fade it, not yet. Now there's something I did fade, and if you took my trade earlier, I got short at 65.30 in the S&Ps because we're still diverging. Take 5 handles here on a partial. Uh, we'll see. We could possibly have some type of reversal day. The point I want to make is see all these new highs. The last confirmed high in the S&P was here, or you could even say here, and that. So let's go with this one, and that's the 25th of July. So it's over a month of diverging with grinding new highs. Thought this might be 1, 2, 3, but now what it could be is this is 1, 2, 3. So we'll see if we get some type of pullback here during the course of the day. I'm kind of thinking that both the dollar and the market turn around the same time. So there could be something left there. I don't know if this is a top. We'd really have to fall apart here because it is a Friday. It's an up week, another up week. There you go. So, new all-time highs on a Friday. It would be unusual, but that's why I'm probing it. Every trade starts off to be a day trade because if I'm wrong the same day, I'm gone. Okay, even if this is a planned swing trade. I had some questions, and I want to thank everyone for the great comments and the appreciation that you show for my work and what I'm trying to teach here 4 days a week, sometimes 5, depending upon whether we have an interview or not. Some great comments from everybody. And under that comment, I got a question about platinum and palladium, so I'm going to answer it right now. You're really talking about the one of the weaker, especially palladium. So silver made new highs, gold made new highs, and so far this is just a failing rally here in platinum. I think you could be patient and wait for something like an A, B, C. And when it comes down to palladium, it's one of the weakest metals. It's retraced. Maybe you see what it does around 1,000, because if platinum's going to come down, that's going to come down as well. All right, so there's a couple of metals. Someone asked me about zinc and lead. I don't track it. I'm sorry. The only industrial metal I track is copper, and they kind of took that market away from us with these tariffs. But I don't see anything. This looks like a flag, which means it could be lower, and a lot of things can happen if if the Supreme Court doesn't go along with President Trump on the tariffs. Okay, I want to cover Nat Gas. Had another decent week. So that's 2 weeks in a row. Here you go. We're threatening a daily 50-day moving average. So far, so good on Nat Gas. Have a lot of smart viewers that watch this and had a comment where someone noticed I was bullish Nat Gas and corn. And they use nat gas in fertilizer. And if agriculture is going to make a big comeback based upon getting better prices for their crops, farmers finally getting paid because of conditions in Ukraine, one of the biggest bread baskets in the world, having some drought issues, that fertilizer stocks could be a place to go. Natural gas and corn. Uh, so there's demand for nat gas for fertilizer, not just for the electricity fundamental argument that I gave, but it's used in fertilizer. So something to think about. You may want to trade some manure, find some manure issues. Anything agriculture, I think they're out of favor and are undervalued. So there's Nat Gas. I want to let's just update gold, making a new high here on the daily. We are starting to get some divergences here. 580 was my target off this triangle. I know guys looking for another $100, 680 or 37. So maybe that could happen, but the 4 hours not confirming. We have not made a new high yet in silver, but it won't confirm. 42 was the target from when I turned positive on the gold again down here before the breakout of this triangle. So I think it's kind of late to be piling into the precious metals here. I'm not saying that there isn't some more upside left, but my next trade is going to be looking for maybe some shorts in the precious metals that'll tie into um, some type of bottom in the US dollar as well. See if there's anything else. Yeah, I want to just touch on the grains. They've had another great week. Corn, all systems go on corn, right? Talked about this down here. Wheat was trying to make a new low, but turned it yesterday. We have a higher low, which is even more bullish than if we had a third drive. So wheat looks okay to me. And beans had a little pullback. Maybe there's some left, but this to me just looks like a pullback in a bull market. So the two commodity markets I'm involved in, natural gas and grains. Um, I think that these stories are early. There's big runways for, I think, both of these groups of commodities. Let's take a look at what some of the market's still up pretty good. Let's see what's happening with NVIDIA. So look at this. Markets at new all-time highs. NVIDIA broke down. Are they going to turn it? Not a great week in NVIDIA. In fact, I think last week was your 2 week reversal, and look at this week. I see nothing positive about this. Uh, so I thought as so Nvidia goes, the rest of the market would go, but they're rotating, and we'll see what happens. Uber trading under 92. This is the first 2 week reversal in Uber. See, we're under this close from 2 weeks ago. So Uber not a great week considering the market had a great week too. So I mean, if you're in stocks that are not performing this week with a pretty good tailwind, especially with yields, I think that you may want to reconsider those positions or lighten up on those positions. And I think that's about it. All I wanted to cover. So we'll see what happens with yields. The dollar is trying to uh, take care of this. We had a weekly confirmed high up there too. I didn't notice that. So this time over 118.30, we're going to diverge on the weekly. See, we're not going to go over 80. And we'll be taking care of business over 18. If we get over 118.30, look at where the RSI is now after all this sideways action. I don't think we're going to take out 70 unless we just bolt there in a couple of days. And we'll see. This could just be a stop hunt or just like the dollar. Here's drive one, here's drive two, and we're into the third drive. That could take it to 1980. So that's the way I see things. I hope everyone had a good week. I know I had a comment from my Wednesday broadcast that someone bought the euro based upon my work. Uh, Having a great day. Congratulations to him. And I was also asked about showing shorter time frames, the 15-minute, the half an hour. So what I want to explain is everything I teach, no matter the time frame, can be applied on shorter term or longer term TFs. The only difference is if you're trading off 15-minute charts and 30-minute charts, that the magnitude of the move should be smaller. And when you're going beyond the 4 hour, you go the daily, weekly, the magnitude of the moves would be larger. So, but the trading technique is the same. The only thing you have to change is expectations. You could trade with tighter stops on lower time frames, wider stops on larger time frames. And with that being said, everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the heavens this weekend. Maybe you'll be able to see the blood moon. So the eclipse series begins going into the equinox and wrapping it up with a solar eclipse, I think on the 23rd. So have a great weekend. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios.